Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Ghosts and Spirits video. I thought I would mix this one in here while I'm continuing to wrap up your cryptids and monster suggestions. This one has to do with a castle, a very haunted castle, one that I read about in a recent article, and I saw that there were so many ghosts illustrated within this castle that I thought I would make a video of it here. But definitely one of the most haunted castles there in Norway. Good number of ghosts to talk about. Definitely makes me interested in checking out this place if I ever go overseas, and in this case go to Norway. Those of you that are specifically in that area and know about this location, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. If you visited it, if you've seen any of these hauntings, I'd love to hear what a more local perspective is. But you're looking at a picture of it now. For this video, I'm going to call it the mini ghost of Akershus Castle. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Akershus Castle. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here, and then I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it afterward. For starters, the title of it being the most haunted, one of the most haunted locations there in Norway is not without merit. This is a place that's located in Oslo, Norway. It's been there for a long, long time. In fact, it was built towards the end of the 13th century, around 1290 to be specific. Can you imagine that? How old this particular castle is. But it was built there to basically be a strong point, to be somewhere there located near the harbor, to ensure that there's protection associated from any attacks. It was built there, in fact, by the king by the name of King Haakon V, and in his case, he was able to reign there, and it stood for a good while. It lasted many sieges coming from Sweden, and then it pretty much did its job there. It's a huge, absolutely huge castle. In fact, there's around 67 buildings associated with this. It's as big as 14 soccer fields. Can you imagine the upkeep, the maintenance that one has to do with this type of castle? But it looks beautiful. Looking at the pictures there, its beauty though still hides many secrets. Well, not secrets, but many more like dark histories that people may not know about. So for starters, again, it being like a castle as a fort, it had many attacks and there were multiple deaths that were associated there. Then later on, it became a prison. This was a prison that lasted for a good while. I think it was over 100 years or so. But it was at a time whenever there was a prison there. Some people committed suicide. Others were actually killed within the castle as well. This again could become part of its lore, at least with regards to those ghosts and spirits there. And then also during World War II, it took on another front. In this case, the Germans took over this castle in 1940. And when that happened, multiple people were actually executed at the castle as well. And so because of it, some of the ghosts may indeed haunt this location. So again, despite all the beauty tied to this location, there's still some dark history. It was built for a purpose, but there's been many deaths that have been tied to this spot here, and that all leads up to this, the Ghosts of Akershus Castle. So if you're a big ghost hunting fan like me, and especially if you love history, just like me as well, talk about two birds with one stone when it comes to this location. Many visitors and then also employees state that they have experienced multiple hauntings with that location. They range from stuff involving hearing footsteps when nobody is there, hearing voices that are also coming from certain locations when nobody is there, the cries of battles as well, no doubt the countless battles that have occurred in the past within that castle, and then also on top of that, smells. There's apparently some strange smells that permeate within that location too. Unexplainable, but it seems to be tied to the paranormal side. Now, the article went into even further detail with regards to some particular ghosts, and this was what really got me interested. There's apparently the ghost of a dog that's there. It's a pretty sad story. But here's the way it goes. At one point, when this castle was again being used as a type of fort or as a type of location to protect from battles. There was a dog that was a favorite dog from one of the owners there. The story went though that this guard dog was essentially there for a while, but it turned out that the person who owned that dog, or actually owned that location there, decided to come up with this gruesome act. They stated that pretty much this guard dog is going to be guarding forever. And so this dog was basically buried alive. It was buried alive. In fact, it's over by the main gate area. I don't know where that is. In fact, you have to go more towards an area called Maiden Tower. So if you happen to go to this castle, visit the Maiden Tower. That's essentially where you'll see a history associated with this ghost dog. You'll see its burial spot or something along those lines there. But the story goes that because this dog was buried alive, obviously horrific way for it to go, then it came back as a very vengeful ghost dog. So the intention became reality. Not only was it a guard dog when it was living, but now it was even more of a guard dog, a very vengeful one after its death. It's said that this is considered a Malkanisen, which is Norwegian for vicious dog. In fact, there's almost like a curse tied to this dog. People that see this ghost dog roaming about, again, it's not in a happy mood because of what happened to it. Not only is it fulfilling its destiny as a guard dog, but now it's actively biting people. Can you believe that? The ghost dog that actually bites. Well, the curse goes that when you are bitten, you're actually gonna die within 3 months. And so this is the way it goes. If you happen to see that ghost, run as quickly as you can away from it. You don't want to necessarily be bitten by it and have that curse come true. Apparently, it's a very, very horrible way to go out as well because of the pain associated with that death. So again, there's this vicious ghost dog that's there. There's another ghost that's there that's called Mantelgeisten. This is another Norwegian word for cloaked ghost. This is a ghost that has been seen there for a good number of decades. It's a woman ghost who roams around in the darkness, but she has a very long dark cloak. But interestingly enough, she is no-faced. So in other words, when people see her, they don't see a face. I don't know if they see like just a blank face or if they see nothing at all. But still, this is a ghost that roams this location. It is unknown where this ghost came from, who it's tied to. Who knows? It could have been one of the long servants of this castle or one of the unfortunate deaths, again, associated with its dark history. But that's the other ghost, again, by the name of Mantelgeisten, that you'll run into when you're at that castle. And then some of the other ghosts that were highlighted from this location is this. Some of these are more along the lines of nameless and then also faceless in the sense that people don't even see them at all. I was mentioning earlier about screams from the battlefield whenever someone hears that involving the ghosts of this castle, where it turns out some of those ghosts actually get very, very close to people to the point that they're breathing down people's necks. So if you have that kind of fear of having people just really close to you, imagine this happening, but this is more on the lines of a ghost. And then this one is tied actually to a gatekeeper. Apparently, this was someone that was there, and then he stormed this castle with a horse. It looks like he was drunk at first, but then he was shot. And then ever since then, his presence is there. And then there's another ghost that apparently roams that location, also with a horse. Apparently, this is someone that died a very horrific death there. And when that happened, his ghost also roams that location with his ghost as well. And if you wanted to go to one of the most haunted spots within the castle itself, go to the area that's called the Virgin Tower. This is the highest tower within the entire castle. It apparently has the most nameless ghosts of all. So lots and lots of places, right? When it comes to this particular location, having not just a good number of ghosts, but a good number of localized ones. And by far for me, the most interesting one is that dog ghost. The idea that you have a dog roaming about the grounds there, maybe on a nightly basis, just completely just angry about it, scenario about what happened to it, and then there it is ready to bite. That just instantly grabbed my attention when it came to that article. But let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. It is open to the public. I don't know if you can stay overnight, but according to what I read, you can definitely book a ghost tour. So this is a place that instantly grabbed my attention. And if it's something that I end up going overseas for, I'm going to definitely make a trek over to also Norway and then try to figure out what can be done in terms of doing a good ghost hunt to that castle. Those of you that have already visited, please let me know in the comments. That's what I love about the comments too. I do read them. People do tell me in their videos after I do a video about a particular spot, they mention I've been there, and then they go talk about their experience. Great way to share that stuff with myself and then also the fans too. But all right, everybody, take care. Bye.